I just want to start off by saying this. Superman is in this movie. Spoiler alert. Hey guys, it's me once again, Bruce Lira. I'm coming back at you with another movie review. This time I'm doing Superman, Man of Tomorrow. This was a fantastic film, and of course I am going to divide this film into two sections. I'm going to do a spoiler-free review, and I'm going to do a spoiler review. So the spoiler-free review, I'm going to try to make that as short as possible because keep in mind, this movie is a very short film. It's only an hour and 26 minutes long, so if I say too much, I might be giving too much away. With that being said, on with the review. Let's talk about the casting really quick. Man, these guys knocked it out of the park. You know, Darren Criss as Superman, Zachary Quinto as Lex Luthor, Ike Amadi as Martian Manhunter, Adriana Daddario, Alexandra Daddario as Lois Lane, Brett Dalton as Parasite, and of course, Ryan Hurst as Lobo. Lobo, oh my goodness. Lobo, I'm just going to say this. Lobo is my favorite character in this whole movie. And yes, this is primarily a Superman movie, but Lobo immediately became my favorite character in the whole film. I mean, it's Lobo. It's the Lobo that we all love and remember from the comics. You know, I always thought that, like, the best character that we had so far from Lobo was from Superman the Animated Show. I didn't watch Krypton. I know he's on there, so I'm not too sure how that Lobo fares up. This is a Lobo that we all remember, you know. He talks trash. He's very lazy. He always likes to drink. It's Lobo. This Lobo is hands down the best character in the whole film, bar none. I don't care what anyone says. And yeah, it's Lobo. This is a very good modern interpretation of Superman's origin. You know, they don't really show Krypton or anything like that. They just cut to, you know, Superman being, you know, where he started, you know. And that's what I think that they did a great job on, because we've seen Superman's origin time and time again. So really, this shows him starting off as Superman. You know, we see him go from being, you know, an intern at the Daily Planet to like a confident superhero. So this film did a fantastic job of retelling Superman's origin, you know, and they really played off with this dynamic of having, you know, Martian Manhunter and Lobo there. Really, it's three of the last of their kind. You know, Superman's the last son of Krypton, Martian Manhunter's the last Martian, and of course, Lobo is the last Zarnian. And having the three of them come together to face this giant threat was very, very cool. You know, I'm going to talk about Rudy Jones really quick, because Parasite became, you know, a villain not only that I loved, he came to be a villain that I truly did respect. This movie really knocked Parasite out of the park. Wow. Just see him being a humble family man to going to being this monster who cannot help but just feed on so much energy. Man, that was just really, really cool. The animation, you know, take it for what it is. I think it's very good. You know, it feels almost like comic book art in a sense. And to a degree, it kind of feels like anime. Some of the facial features on Superman and his other characters, it does feel very anime-esque. You know, it's not exactly anime, but it kind of feels like anime, if that makes any sense. You know, but I think the animation is very good. Granted, you might think like some of the Justice League films, like Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, or maybe Justice League Doom, did the animation a lot better. And if so, that's fair enough, because yeah, some of the CGI and some of the things in those films had a lot better animation than this one. So I can understand that, but I still think the animation holds up. It holds up surprisingly well, you know. And I gotta say, this is one of the better DC animated films that I've seen in a long time, man. Gosh, what was the last new DC? And I think the last new DC animated film that I watched was Batman the Killing Joke. And that came out like a while ago. Just the DC animated films, for me, really took a downturn after, I'd say, Batman versus Robin-ish. And even then, that one was one that I thought was okay. Really, as soon as they started, retelling stories from like the New 52 onward, the animation and just the storytelling really went down for me. Like, I was not invested in any of the DC animated films. I skipped over a lot of them. I still haven't seen Death and Return of Superman. I still haven't seen Batman Hush. So I don't even know if that one is good. But overall, I really did like this one. And not to mention, this is a potential Kickstarter of a new DC animated universe. And if that's the case, I'm all for it. This was a very, very good start. I will explain a couple of Easter eggs and things in the spoiler review section. But overall, if you have an hour to spare, this film was only about an hour and 26 minutes long. So if you have an hour to spare, and if you're curious, or if you're just a Superman fan or a comic book fan in general, and if you want to see what's new from DC, give it a watch. This film is worth your time. Definitely give it a watch. So yeah. So anyways, that was my spoiler-free section of the movie. Overall, as a film, I'd probably give it maybe a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. I'm not too sure about the grading, but overall, I did enjoy the film. Like I said, it is worth a watch. And if you have an hour to spare, give it a watch. So, I am going to enter spoiler territory. If you have not seen Superman Man of Tomorrow, we're going into major spoiler territories, so keep in mind. Alright, going into spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Those Batman Easter eggs, though. Those Batman Easter eggs were sprinkled throughout the film with Lois Lane. We saw the picture of Batman and the grappling hook. And I think the suit for Batman, it looks very much like Batman's first appearance. I could be wrong. Superman's mom, when she hands him over the Superman suit that she made him, she explains, well, I had it a cape, it looks very cool. It looks like the guy in Gotham. And I was like, oh, that's Batman. So, but yeah, there's that. And I'm just going to say this, like the third act very much didn't work for me because it felt like a Godzilla film. Seriously, they might as well have renamed this thing Superman versus Godzilla, because that's very much what it felt like. Literally, like Superman does like a motivational speech. He's trying to rally up, I get, not like rally up the troops, but like it kind of feels like that way, just letting people know, hey, I'm an alien. He's not an alien. He's one of your own. If anything, I'm the one who should be viewed as a threat, and it was a very good, very motivational speech. The thing is, Superman kind of looks silly because Parasite just goes on and ravages everything. And like I said, we see Parasite with this arc, like he can't go visit his family. His daughter views him, even though I don't think she knows that's her dad, but his daughter sees him as a monster. So Parasite is a very tragic character, and ultimately consuming all that power winds up being his undoing. But yeah, like I said, if anything, this film made me a really big Parasite fan because they did justice to his character. Yes, moi, I love Parasite in this movie. Lots of people are saying on IMDb that this is what Man of Steel should have been, and if Zack Snyder would have done a film like this, if he were to base this movie in Man of Steel 2 and just expanded upon the Superman character and added in Parasite and bring in Lobo, and if you, bring in Martian Manhunter, then great. Or if Zack Snyder has another tertiary Superman villain to add in, well, no, don't add in. Add in one villain at a time, because then you're going to fall into Spider-Man 3 territory where you added in way too many villains and there's not enough, there's not enough background to those villains. It's just like, it'll become a mess. But yeah, I'd say add in one villain at a time. I still do want Brainiac for Man of Steel 2. That would be awesome. Or bring in any other obscure Superman villain. I want to see Mr. Mixius Pitalik. I don't care what anyone says. I want to see Mr. Mxyzptlk. That is one of my favorites of all time. I love Mr. Mxyzptlk. Gilbert Gottfried is amazing as Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Hi, Guy. Your 3 months are up, and this time you're not gonna cheat me out of my fun.
Oh, it's you again, Mr. Kiltipsism.
Not Kiltipsism, Mxyzptlk. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do... Oh, nuts.
And heck, why not add Toyman? Toyman was cool.
Who's that? I'm ever so sorry to spoil your nice celebration, but I have a very important message for your boss, Mr. Mannheim. Please tell him the Toy Man is calling time out on his little games, and don't be tardy.
Anyways, so yeah, I want to get to Darren Criss' portrayal as Superman really quick. Darren Criss knocked it out of the park, man. You know, this guy went from being Music Meister to being Superman. That is cool. That is a huge step up if you ask me. And he did a great job. You know, he did a great job from being the small, you know, farm boy from Kansas to being like this hero who was already confident as it is to now understanding where he comes from and having that power being taken away from him by Parasite and being forced to team up with Lex Luthor of all people. You know, Darren Criss just did a good job. He definitely retained like the spirit of Superman, you know, the typical, you know, truth, justice, and the American way. You know, definitely Darren Criss did a really good job as Superman. I'm just going to say that. You know, I know I'm rambling here, but this movie really did an awesome job. Zachary Quinto as Lex Luthor. Zachary Quinto did an awesome job. You know, Lex Luthor, of course, is this egomaniacal, you know, villain who doesn't really see himself as a villain. If anything, he sees himself as more of a savior. You know, he thinks that he can save people even if it means destroying them. You know, he's asympathetic but sympathetic in some aspects. But Zachary Quinto did an awesome job. You know, he played like this rich boy, suave, like sly businessman. You know, it feels like Lex Luthor can truly get away with anything. And Zachary certainly played that off very, very well. I hope to see him more in more DC animated projects. I hope to see him come back as Lex Luthor because he did a good job. Or if they can bring back Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor, that's fine too. I love Clancy Brown. You know, come on, we all know Clancy Brown from Superman the Animated Series and the video games and Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. It's Clancy Brown. Come on, Mr. Krabs himself. Yes. And also, I want to give credit to Alexandra Daddario as Lois Lane. You know, Alexandra Daddario, yes, this was Lois Lane. You know, she went from being an intern to being like a full-time reporter at the Daily Planet, you know. This is the Lois Lane that we all know and love. You know, she's quick-witted. She's willing to go out there and get the story, no matter even if it costs her own life. Yes. Yes, Alexandria. I want to see more of you. We got to talk about Lobo. Lobo was dope, you know. Saying, oh my goodness. You know, he just said all the typical Lobo lines. His character, you know, the lines that we know from the comic books that were created for the comic books, just... yes. Lobo, yes.
All right, ladies. I gotta take a big old space dump and I don't do it no place but my own. So, smell you later.
I really hope he doesn't come back.
So overall, there's not a whole lot of other things to talk about. Like I said, it's a very short film. It's only an hour and 26 minutes long, and like I said, I highly encourage you, if you haven't done it already, if you haven't clicked off of this video already, go watch this movie. This is awesome. For if you're a DC fan, especially if you're a Superman fan, or if you're just a comic book fan in general, and if you're curious to see, you know, what's up with DC, check it out. You know, this movie knocked it out of the park. But yeah, anyways, that's what I had to say. and I'm going to stick to it. So thanks a lot, guys, for checking out my video. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. And also remember, grow older, grow wiser, get right and grow closer to God. Never be ashamed of who you are. And of course, never stop being a geek. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless you.